I teach courses here at Darden in the areas of leadership and ethics and organizational behavior. I've always been jealous of people who can tell you the exact moment in their childhood where they knew what they were going to be when they grew up. That's not really the case for me. If I look back, I can think of a couple experiences, though, that were probably pretty formative in the interests that I developed. For example, my family watched this show, Dallas, and there was an oil magnate named J.R. Ewing. And he was, brash and charismatic and frankly not a very good guy, not really an example of a businessman. And I don't recall learning anything at all about business from that show. But as a poor kid growing up without a lot of sense of control, what I realized JR had was great influence. He controlled his own life and he had influence over the lives of lots of others. And I think I came out of my childhood seeing business as a route for influence and control. I also recall, like I think many families do, argument after argument where we never seemed to resolve anything and we lacked the tools to get past those difficult conversations. And so instead what happened is we learned to avoid certain things and we learned to dread certain get-togethers. If I fast forward 25 years, what I've really been doing during that time is studying and teaching about good leadership, what it looks like and why, and how do people have effective conversations in all spheres of life, especially business. Today I don't respect leaders at all who are brash and charismatic like J.R. Ewing, and so I would never talk about a guy like him, not least of which because nobody under 40 probably knows who I'd be talking about. I much more admire leaders like Tachi Amada, a very calm, introverted almost leader, but one who has saved the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions, as a leader in pharmaceutical companies and the Gates Foundation, because he simply is willing to be courageous to make lives better for others. In my courses like Defining Moments, we focus on how do you have difficult conversations about the most important of topics. How do you engage rather than avoid by taking perspective and talking about those difficult subjects that make a difference. What sort of weaves through all my interests these days is the topic of workplace courage, because it's really about helping people who don't have as much power or control do something about that sense of low efficacy. One of the reasons I came to Darden, and the thing I really love about Darden, is that we don't shy away from those important kinds of questions and topics. We talk these days about helping students put their why to work, but you can't help students put their why to work if students don't know what their why is. And I think the purpose of a great education is really about helping students think about, why am I here on earth? What am I going to do with the majority of my waking hours? Why at the end of my life will I be proud of what I've done rather than full of regrets? And it's really my privilege to be here and to talk about and think about those questions in all kinds of forums with students here.